Hey, it's Erin. Let's talk about the Smith machine. This is one of those pieces of equipment that you're not on the fence about. You either really love it, you use it all the time, or you avoid it and think it's a silly machine. I actually used to be in the latter group. When I was running track in college, it was free weights all the time. We would occasionally use machines, but the Smith machine was something we absolutely did not use. Now, I've come a long way in my evolution of bodybuilding, if you will, and I've really come to see the benefits of the Smith machine. I now think that there is no piece of equipment that is totally useless, and you can incorporate a lot of these machines for a better variety and for better strength gains. So the Smith machine has a few different benefits. If you're training by yourself, you need a spotter, you can actually set those safeties up on the Smith machine and be able to bench press or squat or do other heavy compound movements with a lot more confidence knowing that you have a spotter built in. The Smith machine also limits the use of stabilizer muscle. So if you're looking for a pure pull or a pure push and you want to just focus on that target muscle, Smith machine can be really excellent for that. It's also really good for encouraging proper form. So if there's something specific you want to work on, you can set the machine up. It can also help to limit that range of motion. So again, those safeties are in place and you can really target specific muscle groups with it. You can also incorporate some pretty cool variations that are going to take your training to the next level. And that brings us to what this video is about. I've taken my top 10 favorite exercises on the Smith machine, and these of course are kind of cool exercise variations that you can incorporate into your current routine and help you to see better results and help you have a bit more fun with training. Before we get into this video, please make sure to like and subscribe to join the Fit Fam. Without further ado, let's train. Hack squats are excellent for building quads, but maybe your gym doesn't have a hack squat machine. Well, you can set up the exact same thing right here on the Smith machine. Now, really important to note that you do need a heavy plate in front of the bar. This is going to allow you to bring your body out away from the bar. So you want your feet about 2 to 3 feet away from the bar so that your upper body is perpendicular to the floor. Whereas with a normal squat, your weight distribution is going to be pretty even. You're going to be right under that bar. The hack squat, you're going to be ahead of the bar. This is going to emphasize those quads. Another way to really emphasize those quads is to push your weight through your toes. Keep your feet together. As far as bar placement goes, you want that bar sitting right across your traps. And you want your forearms underneath the bar. Nice overhand grip. And you can go to parallel or you can go below parallel. Keep in mind, if you go a bit below parallel, you're also going to hit the glutes. So it's a pretty great exercise. Our straight leg deadlifts are excellent for targeting those hamstrings, a little bit of glutes. I've added a couple of plates here for a slight elevation. This is going to increase that range of motion. Now keep in mind, for that straight leg deadlift, it's very similar to an RDL, except for the straight leg deadlift, you're going to be starting from the floor, pulling upwards, and that range of motion is a bit longer than the RDL would be. So you're going to take it down, get that full stretch. You can elevate those feet as much as you feel like. So if you've got an excellent flexibility, excellent range of motion, you can definitely add some more plates here. Overhand grip that's about shoulder width apart. Make sure that back stays flat. At no time do you want the back to round at all. If it does start to round, you may want to decrease that range of motion. Next is the Zercher Squat. You might want to have a squat pad for this. This is one of my favorite squat variations. Don't be intimidated by this exercise. If you find squats particularly difficult, so if you've got a long torso or longer femurs, you're going to kind of fold in half when you squat. It's really important to keep that upper body more upright during the squat. The Zercher Squat could be your key squat variation. Now, of course, you want to start with just the bar, get the hang of the motion. Feet are going to be about shoulder width apart. You can push your weight through the heels to hit those glutes a little bit more, or you can push your weight more through the toes to accentuate the quads. And you want that bar to rest right in the crook of the elbows. Think about keeping that chest tall, keep the core tight, and you want to go 2 parallel or just below parallel with the upper leg. Moving on to calves. This is one of my favorite calf raise variations. Now, with a calf raise, you always want to think about driving your ankles towards your toes rather than lifting your heels up. This can be a tough cue to get. So by placing the band around the top of your ankle, you have that resistance that you're able to push against. And it really reinforces that cue of pushing those ankles forward. And just like every other exercise, you want to keep that core nice and tight. You want your body directly under the bar. You want your legs straight, but you don't want to lock those knees out. And think about keeping a nice controlled range of motion here, so not too fast. Don't rest too long at the bottom. Get that full squeeze at the top. Next is the hip thrust. Now, if you have issues setting up a barbell hip thrust on your own, perhaps you can't quite do 135 pounds yet, or you have difficulty getting under the bar, the Smith machine hip thrust is your answer. This is an excellent exercise for glutes. A couple of things to keep in mind. You want to make sure you're keeping your sternum low, keeping your chin tucked, so you don't want to overextend here. Upon full extension, you do want your lower legs perpendicular to the floor. Really think about pushing your weight through the heel, keeping that core tight. Now understand with the Smith machine, you're going to have a decreased range of motion, and that's okay. Simply focus on that upper portion of the range of motion and keep tension on the glutes the entire time. You're really going to feel the burn. So again, excellent variation. If you can't quite get under the bar, it's a very easy setup. If you're interested in building upper body strength and power, the floor press is for you. The Smith machine is the perfect place to do the floor press. You've got a nice controlled range of motion. You don't have to stabilize. You can focus on pure pressing power here. Think about a grip that is about 2 times shoulder width. So you want your lower arms to be about perpendicular to the floor. Nice overhand grip with your thumbs wrapped around the bar, really important. You want your back nice and flat. Nice solid foundation. And here, keeping your lower arms underneath the bar, think about slowly lowering, spending just a second to diminish all use of momentum and really power that bar up. Again, slowly lower it, power it up again. And if at any point you do fail, you've got several hooks here that you can use. Really great for overall chest development and front delt development. Next, we're moving on to a great back exercise. This is a wide grip bent over row. Now, I love the Smith machine for the wide grip bent over row because just like the floor press, you are taking out any stabilizers. So you've got the ability to pull and really focus on using the Smith machine to help with balance and just focusing on the back. Now here, you want to make sure that you keep your wrist straight, overhand grip. And even though it's wide grip, you want to try to think about keeping your elbows in just a bit, core tight, and don't use momentum at all. So the only movement should be coming from your upper body and pulling from the back. Think about squeezing your shoulder blades together at the top and controlling the weight back down. Develop strong shoulders with this exercise. So you're going to load the bar up with weight that you can easily do with both hands, but is difficult with just one. We're going to work on some forced negatives here. So we've got alternating arm, single arm negative shoulder press. And really focus on just pressing the weight up. Should be relatively easy. And controlling that weight down. So again, this is going to be a weight that's heavier than you would normally go for single arm presses. Excellent for building that strength, for building nice round cap delts. Keep your core tight. and make sure that you're not using momentum. Make sure that from left to right is a mirror image. So you want to make sure you're performing the exercise exactly the same. Really go nice and slowly so you can focus on using just the delts. Overhand grip, thumbs wrapped around the bar. A lot of arm movements you'll find are isolation movements, so they don't give you a great calorie burn. The inverted row is excellent for increasing calorie burn and for hitting those biceps. Just want to make sure that you're using an underhand grip and that your thumbs are wrapped around the bar. You also want to be up just enough to where your lower arm hits about perpendicular to the floor. So you want that bar to hit just about mid-chest area. This is going to help further emphasize the biceps. And you can also look over at your biceps to make sure that they're engaging. Keep your body in plank position. So you want to keep your hips at the same height, in line with your shoulders, in line with your heels. We're going to hit some triceps here with an overhand triceps extension. So you want to get into plank position. This exercise can be adjusted depending on your strength levels. So if you feel like you're maybe just starting out, get a little bit closer to the bar and perform something that looks more like an incline close grip push-up. As you get stronger, move away from the bar just a little bit by pulling your feet back. And then you'll think about tucking your head under the bar and getting that extension. Now with any triceps exercise, you want to make sure that you're keeping that upper arm immobilized for the most part. So the most of the movement is going to be coming from your elbow. Some things to consider when using the Smith machine. Not all Smith machines are created equally. So for example, if you have one of those dinosaur pieces of equipment in your gym that, let's say it goes at an angle like this, or let's say the starting weight of the bar is like 65 pounds, you're not going to be able to do some of these exercises, but some of the other exercises might be enhanced. So if you think about it, maybe your straight leg deadlift, your RDL, or your rows can be even better on that slanted Smith machine. Now, if the bar itself is 65 pounds, you do run into some issues with that. The typical weight on a normal Smith machine for the bar, unweighted, is about 10 to 15 pounds. So, like your single arm shoulder press, that can be easily done on a regular Smith machine. If you have one of those dinosaur mega Smith machines, again, you might have to make some modifications or choose another piece of equipment, unfortunately. If you try some of these exercises and you love them, please tag me on social media. It's really cool to see you take the videos and the workouts and make them your own. That's it for this time. Until next time, train smart and train hard, y'all.